Hi, this is Sherry. So I'm back this week to talk a bit more about cancer conversations because, one of the things since my diagnosis a couple of weeks ago is that I really want to try and encourage us to have more conversations about cancer so that we try and take away some of that fear, which is kind of normal and natural to have that fear. And I'm kind of blown away by the number of people who've reached out to me since I announced my own diagnosis to tell me that they'd had cancer themselves. So thank you to everybody who sent me lovely messages of support. So I think last week, I know a few of you who know me really well thought that I was probably a bit flat in last week's Facebook Live, and you're right. I'm kind of in that limbo land. I've had the diagnosis, I've got the prognosis, and I've got the surgery now booked as well for Independence Day, which is kind of somewhat appropriate, I think. And so it's, I'm kind of in limbo land at the moment. So as you'd expect, I'm having some days where I'm feeling, great and positive, and other days where I'm feeling a little bit weepy. And actually, it's not like I'm feeling weepy for the whole day. It will be, somebody today sent me some flowers, for example. And when I found out who the flowers were from, it made me cry. And walking up the steps at Euston Station yesterday, there was an old lady struggling to come down the steps with a very heavy bag and crutches, and so I stopped to help her and thought to myself, oh, it's so lovely that there's kindness in the world and that we're kind of in this kindness karma, that the more kindness you put out, you get back. And that's what I'm noticing at the moment. I'm getting lots of kindness back, and that made me cry too, which is kind of weird and bizarre. But today I want to talk to you about resilience, because I think resilience is really important, and I think that's something I'm going to really need lots of over the next few weeks and a couple of months. And somebody was asking me, so Sherry, tell me about resilience. How do you manage to get through the stuff that you get through? Because I've had more than my fair share of stays in hospital and illness and nasty injuries. And I think for me, the important things about resilience, the first thing is you've really got to look after yourself, and that self-compassion. So I think there are a few key things when it comes to looking after yourself. One of them has got to be about, getting enough sleep. And I know I'm not getting enough sleep at the moment. I'm going to bed far too late. Been watching the football and all that kind of stuff. And so sleep is one of the things you need to do. I think the other thing is really important to do is to, take time out to do things that you enjoy doing. Now, for me, I love going out for my walks, going out in nature, being out with the dogs, being out in my garden. I enjoy weeding, which sounds a bit bizarre, I suppose. But doing things that you enjoy doing, whatever that might be, being active and doing stuff that keeps you active. So not necessarily, running or going to the gym, but doing stuff that keeps you active and movement, I think is really important. And then obviously it's doing the things like the common sense stuff, like eating well, drinking well, just generally looking after yourself. And I think one of the things that I've found really helpful to maintain and bolster my resilience is journaling. Journaling for me is really important. So I go through phases where I will journal every day. So I kind of follow the Julia Cameron Morning Pages style of journaling, where I take a notebook and I just write for 3 pages. Don't think about what I'm going to write, I just write. And the other thing that I do that I think is really important is at the end of every single day, without fail, occasionally I might miss it if I've just fallen asleep as soon as my head hits the pillow, but to be grateful and acknowledge the good things that have happened to me today. So every night when I go to bed, I lie down and I think about 3 good things that have happened to me today. So it might be something positive at work, it might be a piece of praise, it might be something that I noticed out in the woods. Maybe I saw a squirrel or I saw a baby magpie. So that's 3 good things every day that have happened. So they might have happened to me, but they might have been things that I noted and observed. And then I think the other thing about resilience is really about showing yourself compassion and kindness and forgiving yourself for mistakes you have. So rather than sitting and dwelling on stuff, just getting on with it. Okay, we all make mistakes. It doesn't mean you're a bad woman or a bad mother or a bad person. You've made a mistake. Don't dwell on it. Just move on and learn from your mistakes. You know, accept that mistakes are part of your learning process. So those are the few key things for me about resilience and how to look after yourself so that you can be resilient and therefore deal with stressful, challenging situations with more capacity to deal with those situations because you've been looking after yourself all the time. So that's it for today. I hope that was helpful. Do leave a post below and let me know what you think helps build your resilience, and speak to you again soon. Bye.